Hi everybody, I'm here to try to do a tutorial on some photo editing that I think can help our group on Artizan Made. And I keep harping about how, or encouraging people to make their images square, and I think you'll see why when I show you some of the edits that I'm going to do. I'm going to try to keep it very simple with some of the tools that I use over and over. And I am not an expert editor, but I've edited thousands of images, and I think I have some good tips that hopefully you can use to improve your images. We all need to keep learning and work really hard on our photos because we're competing with millions of images on the web and on Etsy and wherever you are. So the first way people will pop into your shop is by finding an image that grabs their attention. And the better you can edit it, the more chances you have to bring in people that are interested in what you do. So let's take a look at some of the tools here. This is the crop tool, and I use it all the time. I highly recommend that all images be made square. And the reason for that is that it fits the most platforms in your social media places, and if an image is square, you can edit it later to be a rectangle, either vertical or horizontal. But when you first save it off of your camera, if you crop it nicely as a square, and if you have your own website, if you keep everything square and the same size, you'll have a much better result in how you display your images. And for our market on Artizan Made, we also want the images to be square. Best size for posting on Facebook is 960 pixels. But if you save your images at 1200 or 1500, then you can create banners and larger things from those images. My recommended size is 1200 pixel square, saved at 72 dpi. I picked a few images from our member shops that I think need some improvement. I'm using Photoshop Elements 12, and Photoshop Elements has been wonderful ever since it was launched by Adobe. It's a great software, and if you get an older version, 9 was wonderful, 10, all of those can be found on eBay for very cheap. I'm not sure where they're at right now, but 12 is amazing, and I only know the tip of the iceberg as far as the tools that they have, but what it can do is just absolutely wonderful. So let's start with All Things Pretty here. Deborah tends to photograph in long vertical images, and on her shop on Etsy, she can move the image to where she wants the focus to be on the product, but everywhere else it becomes really hard to show these images this way, because if this is posted on Facebook, then it's like a long skinny image. If it's a square image, it fills out the whole space and it looks a lot bigger when people are looking at it in their feed. So first of all, she's got her name down here. If I were to just crop it as a square, then I'm going to lose that name. One of the things that we could do is to highlight that, copy it, edit, copy, and then paste it somewhere up here, edit, paste, and then I can use that later. But for now, I'm going to crop it. If you're on a PC, you click on Shift, drag it, and it'll give you the perfect square. Now that the image has been cropped, I want to see it on a full size here, so you click View, Fit on Screen, and now it's a lot bigger. So I have this is the Select tool here. I have this signature here, and I could put it down here if I wanted to. And then I could erase this little thing, so I'm going to zoom in here. And I pick the eraser, And because this is selected, I want it a little bit bigger. I can erase it and show the top coming down there. So if I look at it again, fit on screen. So I'm going to leave it that way. Now I have to, this is a layer that has been added on, so I have to join the layers. So layer, merge visible, and now we have this image. Now I think the top looks a little dark. Let's see what happens if you do auto contrast. If you click on enhance, there are a lot of things that you can try here. Auto contrast, auto correction. I don't use the sharpen ever because it gives it breaks down the image and I don't like how it looks. You can adjust lighting, color, and these are the things that I use all the time. So if you do auto contrast, so nothing happened there. How about if we lighten it a little bit? Adjust lighting, brightness, contrast, brightness a little bit, and I think that makes it a little bit a little bit brighter. So I'm gonna save it. Oh, first I want to check the image size. Resize, image size. So it's only 843 pixels wide. I'm gonna raise that to 1000. If you raise it too much, it could make the image blurry, but I think at 1000 it'll be fine. Okay. So it's still good, and it's going to look really nice on Facebook and on our Artizan Market. So we'll save it and close it. I'll say that the highest quality. So let's just try the crop tool on the images that I've saved here. Here's the crop tool, and here's our photo bin. The images are all here, and you see it. This one's from Heather's hat from Augustine's hats. And if you look at the size, image, resize, image size, it's not quite a square. So let's make it a square. So hit the shift tool, hold it, hold, and you'll see that that is the part that wasn't square, but I want to push it up just a little. Put it on the screen. Okay, so now you click that. Now it's a perfect square. Let me look at, I'm not going to do anything else, but right now let's just do a few more crops. Carla Steele, she has these really nice backgrounds, but again, it's a long, skinny image that is not going to post well on Facebook, so I usually crop her images that I post there. And if Carla, if you zoomed out more and you could capture more of this and make the whole thing a square, but then the doll would look very small. So you have to kind of play with your background so that you want the focus point to be the product. So again, I have the crop tool here, hit shift, pull it. Now that's not going to show the whole doll, so I'm going to have to lose part of it. Or if I don't want to crop part of the doll, I can make the sides wider. So we'll come back to this one and see what we can do with it in a little bit. Okay, let's check this one and see if it's a square. Image, resize, image size. Yes, it's a square, but the resolution is 180. It only needs to be 72, or you could go up to 150 at the most with the high resolution digital. So because it will slow down loading time on older computers, and I recommend staying at the 72. So if you do 72 and change it up here to 1200, and then that's the new size of the image. Let's see how this owl does as a square. This is from What's Up Brothers, and you put your crop tool there, hold shift, pull it, and now we have a square, and crop it, and now we have the writing that's over here, but we're going to do something else with this photo in a bit, so just hold on. Rio Rita, let's see what we can do to make this image square. Hold there, shift, okay, that would cut some of it too, and sometimes that looks okay and sometimes it doesn't. For this photo, I'm going to crop it, so it's cropped. And the size, image, resize, image size is very small. It needs to be 1200, so it's a small image. We could change the resolution to 72, and then let's put it up to 1000 and see how it looks. Hope it won't be blurry. Fit it on the screen. I think it's okay, so we'll leave it at that. Now let's try some other tools. This could be brightened a little bit, so enhance, auto contrast, see what happens. It did a little bit. You see, you want to have the full range of shadowing the contrast between dark and light in an image. So I think this one is good the way it is. Resize, image size, okay. So I'm going to close it. File, save. File, close. We'll look in the photo bin here. Let's go back to this mug from Pam. I know from her other photos that this is not a pink textile, it's a white textile. So what we want to do here is a color correction on this pink overlay. And that is in here, enhance, adjust color, remove color cast. You click that and then you select an area where that pink is very obvious and you point it there and it takes all that away. And that's a big thing that I see a lot, and there's usually like a blue color cast or a yellow one, and it has to do with the kind of lighting that you're getting and how your camera interprets it. And sometimes it's really hard to get a good lit space for your photography. We're going to leave it at OK. And now I want to lighten it a little bit because it's still got these other colors going on in there. So I want to adjust the lighting, brightness and contrast. And if I add a little bit, see how it's cleaning that up there? And I think that looks much better. Let's see what size this is. It's perfect. So we'll save it and close it. Okay, here we have a statue from Serapho. And we could either crop it as a square or we can make this part of the photo bigger, and that's called the canvas size. So to increase the canvas size, you go to Image, Resize, Canvas Size. And these little arrows tell you where you want to. If you have the arrows going in all the directions, then it's going to increase the size on all directions. If you anchor it to here, then the image will grow where the arrows are pointing. If you anchor it on this side, then it will go on this way. So a long, narrow image like this would be nice as part of an ad or a bigger thing where you can have text over here. But we want this to be a product image, so we want it to be equal on both sides. And we have the option of if you make this background on both sides white, then it'll center the image, like if you're posting it on Facebook or on a product listing, or you could make a different color. I'm going to try to match this background color. So you make the width the same size as the height, and then this is just the color, and I'm going to pick the lightest color, like around here, and let's see, the whole thing will grow. Okay, so now we have this image, and one of the tricks that you can do is to smudge the color over. Here's this finger, that's a smudge tool, and you can, I want to make it a little bit bigger here. Oops, the size. This is a good size. So if I just hold this to the corner there and slowly drag it, it'll pull those textures on the background. But you have to be careful because it can start pulling the image itself. So you just do it a little, see it's starting to pull there. I'm going to undo that. And I'm going to make the strength less. And then I'm doing it over here too. Just grab the little edge of it and pull it. Whoops. So I could keep working on this and make it blended in more, and but that's one trick that you can do. Just take a look at the size, image resize, image size, 720. I want it to be 1000. Okay, view, fit on screen. So I think, it would be nice to have it blended in more. You can also use different paint brushes that have textures and try to make that look like it's part of the photo. But I hope you got that idea. Go back to that hat by Heather. It needs a little bit of brightening, enhance. Let's try auto contrast and see what happens. Yeah, I think that has made the complete difference. Just giving it a little bit more light. And then the size, Heather's image is going to be small. So it's only 400. We can't go up to the 1000 because it's going to make the image too small. So what we could do, it'll make it blurry. So let's go to 750, and then view, fit on screen. And then if I want to add a border to it, I can do that resize canvas size, and I'll make it 12 inches all the way around, and then pick a light blue, and let's see what happens then. So it just framed the whole thing, and now it is image resize, image size. It's still small, but let's see what happens if we raise it to 1000. It looks okay, so now that would post nicely on Facebook. Brenda's, I picked this image because it looked a little green to me, and I want to see what happens if I do auto color correction. It still looks green. I know that this wall is greenish, but I think the clothing was picking up some of the green. But I'm just going to leave it the way it is. This is from Cultural Patina, and all it needs is auto contrast. Gives it all that brightness, and then we need to crop the space around it a little bit. I like to leave some breathing room on each side, but not too much. So now we want it to be a square. So we're going to do the same thing with this one. Image, resize, canvas size, and you make the two numbers the same there, 18.556. And I want this color to be this one. I'm going to say OK, OK, and then view the fit on screen. So that would look okay to post like that, or we can do the same blur thing again and pull this all down and make it look like the photo was originally bigger to begin with. Doesn't that look better? It does to me. So now let's see the size. It's a little bit big, so I'm just going to put it down to 1200 and then save it. Keep seeing What's Up Brothers Owl. Okay, so here's one of Diane's scarves, and I think the auto contrast will help this. It looks too gray to me. There's no true white in the image. So auto contrast, you see the difference? So I don't see the scarf in front of me, so I don't know if these colors are true or not, but sometimes when you do that, then it becomes too bright. Then you would click on Enhance, adjust color, and adjust the hue and saturation. And usually if you just lower the saturation a little bit, then you'll get the color that it was supposed to be. And here again we want to make it a square. Image, resize, canvas size, and I'm going to make it this color here. Okay. And to change that there, 20.833, click OK. And I'm just going to leave it like that for now, but you could do the same blur thing here if you wanted to make it all. So the size, image resize, so she's got it at 1500, which is fine. OK, save. This photo would have been an easy one to take it as a square. Just you step back a little bit, give a little more breathing room on either side, and it just looks better too on a catalog type of space. Like if you're looking through a whole bunch of products, then you want them to not be too crowded next to each other. So now we have Carla's image again, and I'm going to crop it like this, and then just add some white on either side just for speed, but you get the idea that you could do different things. We could add black down or gray, or pick a red, or whatever color would match that inside part. Oops. Image, resize, canvas size, make the numbers the same, 3.163, and we'll make the color white. Okay, and then image, resize, image size. Now she's saving it. 300 resolution is for printing. You don't need that online. So we want it at 72, and then at 1,000. So now that would look very nice on Facebook and in our artisan market. Something Else Studio has this bag on Etsy, and then one of the images for that listing is this one. They're obviously two very different colors, so I imagine that this the peachy color is closer to it. So let's see what happens when you do auto color correction. So it brought a little bit more of that in. About auto contrast. So we're going to have to help it a little. Adjust lighting, brightness and contrast. Open it up a little. And then you can use the adjust color, adjust hue saturation, and then play with the hue to see if you can match that peachy color. Start getting close. I think that's pretty close, isn't it? From here to here in color. But now everything looks oversaturated. Just bring it down a little bit. And we want the image to be square. So we're going to lose part of that strap. Shift, pull it. Ideally, she should have gone back a little further, but I think that's a much better image than the way it was before. Let's see what size it is. Resize image size 1120, so we'll just put it at 1200. Getting the color right is really important because you could get a return. Everybody knows that the screen color is not going to be the exact color that you get in the product, but you want it to be close as you can get it. Okay, so this is one of Lynn's weavings, and I think that it's too close to the wood, and there's this glare here, and I was trying to think about what would be a better way of showing it, and ideally if she photographed it on a neutral background, and the weaving would pop a lot more, but it's also such a long, narrow piece, it's hard to put that in any photo. So one way to do it would be to create a photo that shows the long piece and then a close-up of it. So we have, let's create a new blank file, and our ideal size is 1200 by 1200. 72 resolution. Okay. I am going to crop this image as close as I can right here. And then I'm going to pull that image in here, make it a little bit smaller. And if I had time, the right thing to do would be to zoom in and take the eraser and erase all of that. There's two ways to do it. That I know of. You can use the eraser, or you can use the magic magnetic lasso, which you can go like this, and you go all the way around, and then you delete the background. So you'd have to look at a tutorial to do that. I don't have time to show it right now. We're going to assume that this is all nice and clean, and that it shows just the textile and none of the wood behind it. I can show you a different one that I did for her. And then we can pull this in here and show it as a close-up of the textile. And then she has this nice carved logo that could go right there. Then you can add shadows behind everything if you want to. Drop shadow. So this would be an image that is telling a story. Who made it, what it is, the close-up, and there are different ways of doing it. I sent her some examples, and I can pull those up for you. So this was the full textile. I just cropped it, and then there's the close-up, and then her name. This is with the close-up behind the textile. I think it's a little bit too busy, but it could be an artsy way of doing that. And then this one shows the close-up to the side and the textile to the side. And I think that's a really good way to show off this textile, because it's, you know, it's over $1,000 and you want a really good presentation, and the glare on the wood is a big detriment for people to imagine what that textile might look like in their home or office. The last thing I want to show you is something kind of cute, how to make graphics for your product or what I'm doing for the site. So we've got this little boy, and he's got this wonderful expression on his face, and I want to make a graphic for the site using one of What's Up Brothers' owls. So I'm going to make this a longer piece like this, and you do that by increasing the canvas size this way. And I want the color to be the same gray that's right here, and I want it to be, I'm going to say, let's see how it looks at 14. Now let's crop it. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. So then I'm going to pull this owl onto the image there and make him smaller. And I'm going to erase the background around him. It's selected there. And so I'm erasing the background. I can zoom in. Use a smaller brush size for here. Oops. Edit, undo. Okay, so let's see how this looks in the full window. Put it on screen. I want to pull this down here and make it a little bit here. And if I were, you can add a shadow, drop shadow, and see if you like that or not. Maybe pull him a little bit away from the boy. Okay, if I were going to take my time with this, then I would go in and clean it up more, but you can see you can do really fun things like that, and it's not all that hard. Just look up tutorials on YouTube on how to do the things that you want to do. And we want to put some text here, and I can say, I'm going to use white and then I'm going to pick I'll just pick the one that opens tons that we usually use. So I wrote my text, it's too big. Let's see what it looks like at 80. Still too big. 70, okay, then it fits. Every boy really wants one. And then I'm going to add some more text. Last up. It's too big. I'm going to make this like 50 and pull it over here. Bring our logo in. Bring to the front. Now I think that's a pretty cute ad, don't you? I think I'm going to clean that out a little bit more, and then we'll use it on the site. So these are just a few things that I wanted to show you, and the big thing is, you need to figure out what you need to learn. If you practice some basic things like cropping and brightening, it'll improve photos so much. And I hope this was helpful. Bye-bye.